roofing, siding, windows, guttering, and more. 316-794-3430. Or online at burwellconstruction.com.
This is Wichita's sports station, K230PY, 93.9 FM, 1410 AM, and 99.7 HD3. KGSO Belle Plaine, Wichita.
In the round of 16 at the World Cup, Spain has a 1-0 lead over Portugal in the final moments of second half stoppage time. Spain scored its goal in the first minute of second half stoppage time on Fox. Lovely ball through! Settled this one. The winner faces either Team USA or Belgium in the quarterfinals. FIFA today dismissed Belgium's appeal over the lifting of U.S. star Folarin Balogun's suspension for the match tonight of the round of 16 in Seattle. FIFA said the appeal was inadmissible because Belgium, quote, is not a party to the proceedings, unquote. Again, right now, Spain leads Portugal 1-0, final moments of second half stoppage time. I'm Isaac Lowenkron.
Come on.
Broadcasting live from the KGSO studios in West Wichita.
I feel more informed when I listen.
This is the Press Box on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
The Press Box on KGSO.
Okie dokie, back from the holiday weekend. You still buzzed? It is the Press Box here on 1410, 93.9 KGSO. Jacob Zimmerman, Sasha Bushka, give us a call on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines, 316-522-1410. Drop a comment on Facebook. We got Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. We are live on all of those platforms and, of course, the SC Wichita app as well. We're going to get into things like the World Cup today. A lot of different storylines. Team USA, well, they are on the ropes tonight. We have made it here to the round of 16, the knockout stage. We're trying to advance yet again, and we got the Balogun storyline going on with the red card that has been removed. We'll talk about the likes of Spain, Portugal wrapping up, Cape Verde. Oh my goodness, what a story there. Mexico and England had a nice match yesterday. We got to talk about Holland and maybe Ronaldo a little bit. We'll move on. We'll get through a segment with Major League Baseball. I'm hearing the Marlins pulled their pitcher 7 innings through a perfect game. Bobby Witt, he's going to be starting in the All-Star game, and the Royals just absolutely are smashing the Philadelphia Phillies right now. As far as NFL, second hour of the show, we'll continue our comprehensive coverage series. We are moving to, I believe, our 6th division, as it's the AFC East. We'll tackle the Jets. We'll also look at this college basketball player scam story with Kirk Reza, and we'll round it out with who knows what. Sasha, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. The World Cup's got me drawn in. You don't pull your pitcher in July during a perfect game. A no-hitter's one thing. Perfect game's a whole nother. Like, it's happened less than 20 times in the history of baseball, but we'll get to it all. It was a big weekend. It's going to be a fun show today.
All right, let's start things off here on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines. You're inside the press box. How are you?
Hi, guys. How are you doing? This is Corey.
I'm doing pretty good, Corey. I'm getting my head wrapped around what is the World Cup.
Yeah, my mom. I'm going to watch the USA tonight, and my mom is too, and I hope they can win. I don't think in 24 years they have been this far, Casey, and everything.
Yeah, 24 years is right, I think. 2002, I think they made the quarterfinals. I heard a little bit going around this morning that this is the farthest they've ever been. It's not true, but it's close, right? It's the most matches they've ever won in a World Cup, I think. But that's because there's an extra round now, and they won 2 matches in the group stage. But yeah, it's one of the farthest they've ever been.
Corey, it's not about, is this the farthest they've been? I think what it's about right now is this is maybe the most the United States has ever cared about international soccer. I think the fact that we are hosting this tournament and then all the stars are coming through. And then on top of that, America has a chance to maybe do the best they've ever done. I think you combine those factors. That's why we're seeing the viewership with the uptick.
Oh, yeah. That I want both y'all's opinion. What do you think about that little card deal, USA, and everything lifted?
Balogun.
Yeah, it's a big story, right? Like, I think I don't think anybody agreed with the card to begin with, but we were kind of under the impression that there was nothing that could happen. But under a bylaw in the FIFA rules, they're able to basically delay the suspension, put him on probation for a year. So they didn't take away the red card, but they made it so he's not suspended during the World Cup. But if anything else happens, then it's like, you're in bigger trouble now. They did this same thing for Ronaldo heading into the tournament, so there's precedent for it. But it's got the Europeans in a tizzy, I'll tell you that much.
Belgium's not happy about it. Corey, look at Belgium here, man. Imagine trying to see, results that have already been set in stone and change them, man. Imagine trying to change a ruling, and that's what Belgium's trying to do. Jeez, who would try to do that, guys? Who would try to do that? I guess we did.
Yeah. I wanted to know y'all's opinion. We're getting on the trade deadline on Major League Baseball. Who do you think's buyers this year? Sasha? Who do you think's going to be a buyer this year?
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at the standings, basically. The Yankees are always buyers, and they'll try to add to their roster. The Dodgers will try to add to their roster because they have unlimited money and really no use for their farm system. And then you look at big market teams that are near the top of the standings, like the Cubs, who are in second place, the Braves. But listen, anybody could buy or sell at any time. You just got to wait and see what trades come down. But obviously, like, if you're near, like the Royals, sellers, no doubt about it. They have no reason to buy anything at this point. And we'll see if they make any moves. I don't know what they have to sell. That's the problem. But the trade deadline is always an exciting time in baseball.
White Sox should make a move. They're not used to this, but I think Milwaukee should try to capitalize on what's been great regular season success over the last 2 years.
Yeah, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Corey.
Thanks for the call, Corey.
Absolutely. 522-1410 on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines if you want to call Jay-Z and Sasha B here on the press box. So let's kind of pick up where we left off there with the red card discussion. Do you think it's completely fair for Belgium? And I think a lot of Europe kind of sees Team USA as they probably weren't the enemy before this, but I think there's mixed opinions about the country overall politically. But I think here in this spot, like with the red card, I think you're going to have people who are lining up to say, if Team USA wins this game, oh, man, FIFA let us off the hook. FIFA's trying to get more money from the American audience, yada, yada, yada. It kind of pre-builds an excuse for what otherwise could have been a clean American victory. But honestly, when we go back to how the red card was given out, and, honestly, what I thought was kind of ticky-tack, maybe more so in the yellow range. We saw Messi with a similar play, and there was no card at all. I think I'm more on that side as far as, all in all, they kind of got the end-all, be-all right at the end of the day, even if it was a little messy to
they broke some rules to give the red card in the first place. That's what people are forgetting. And they didn't break rules to do this. It's in their bylaws that they can do it. There's just, people were confused because we were told there's no formal appeal process, which there's not. The USA could not just go in and say, like, we're appealing this, look at it, and some governing body looks at it and says, okay, that's not a red card, you're good to go. They had to go out and kind of do it on their own, despite, like, I guess there's reports that there may have been some intervening in the political space. But anyway, you slice it, Balogun gets to play tonight. And as a USA fan, I'd rather have the win than worry about having an excuse for a loss, right? Like if Balogun doesn't play and you lose, then maybe you have a good excuse for it. The reality is, too, the line hasn't moved that much since he was announced he was able to play. So I don't think it's not the end-all be-all of whether the USA was going to win this game or not. They are kind of like public enemy number one in the soccer community now, or the football community,
right.
I would say. But that's rendered kind of moot by the fact that the games are on their home soil. So the fans are still going to be overwhelmingly in support of them during these games, at least the ones that are in the stadiums, which is all that really matters anyways. So if the USA now makes a run, you're going to hear a lot more about it. But I hope they come out and win like 3-0 tonight, and then you can be like, yeah, hey, they had one player. Who cares? They were obviously way better than Belgium.
Leave no doubt that's got to be the mentality from the Americans tonight. Looking here to Facebook, Jay. The Jayhawk, happy 4th of July. Monday Night Football here in America. Yeah, I know we've kind of been having fun with the play on words. I've kind of been reflecting on, could the World Cup ever get so big to where I don't think the NFL would ever make a name change, but people are going to start to think about, man, we got two sports here called the same thing. It's confusing at times, but Belgium tonight. 7 o'clock against the United States. I was seeing the odds like as early as this morning. It was kind of like plus 160 on one side, plus 160 on the other side. And that's, of course, to win there in regulation before you go to extra time. I got to think, though, with how the Americans are buying in, we're seeing the line swing their way. Balogun's now eligible to play. That certainly has me interested in repping the red, white, and blue. But I can't lie, man. Belgium coming off of one of the best comebacks, probably in World Cup history, man. When you're down at 2-0 in the 85th minute to Senegal, and you make it out that game, you win 3-2. That's a team that you're playing that's hot as hell.
They're hot for the last 30 minutes of that game, but they were also down 2-0 to Senegal. I would make the argument that I'd rather be playing Belgium than Senegal, because Senegal dominated that game most of the way, and now Belgium's playing on 4 days rest, having played a bunch of extra time and having to exert a lot of energy to make that comeback. Senegal is one of the best countries in Africa. Belgium's kind of a middle-of-the-pack European team. So either game would have been tough, and it's about a 50-50 game tonight if you look at the odds. But I think you make more hay by beating a European team like Belgium than beating Senegal. So I'm happy to have Belgium tonight. They played really bad in their group, right? At least I felt like they had an easy group and barely escaped it, and then we're down 2-0 to Senegal. So you could look at that last 30 minutes and say they're really hot, or you could say they've had one good 30-minute stretch in the entire tournament. Any way you slice it, the USA is going to have to play good tonight to win.
And I think you could look at it from this slice, Josh. If the Americans would have held on, kind of in a meaningless game at the time, but if they defeat Turkey, they are undefeated here in the World Cup so far, and maybe the public perception is a little bit, distance from, hey, it's the home team, it's the underdog, to, hey, this is a team that's very dominant so far that has not lost in the World Cup.
Yeah, and that Turkey game was meaningless. The U.S. has been one of the most impressive teams in the World Cup, outside of like maybe the big favorites like France, like Spain. And even Spain, like people made a big deal about Cape Verde almost winning the other day. Spain drew with, I think Spain drew with Cape Verde in the group stage 0-0. So nobody really came through unscathed in the group stage. If anything, like Mexico was pretty dominant in the group stage, and France was pretty dominant. Well, Mexico's already out now. We know what France is, and so almost everybody took on either a draw or a loss at some point in the group stage. A lot of it, and if it's going to be that way, you'd be happy that you won the first two games and then you drew or you lost when it didn't matter. And if you look at the USA's group, right, Paraguay won their first game in the knockouts, only lost 1-0 to France. USA beat them 4-1, and so maybe the USA's group was a little tougher than people thought. I think Australia won a game in the knockouts as well.
Okay.
And so three teams that moved on from the group all won a game. So I think the USA has been really impressive so far in this World Cup.
I want to switch off of the Americans And let's go to probably the best story in the World Cup so far, and that is Cape Verde. Some people have been calling it Cabo Verde. I just want to tell you a little bit about Verde themselves, and then we'll get to the soccer team. Guys, these guys are a group of 10 islands, volcanic islands, off of the west coast of Africa. Cabo Verde translates to Green Cape. They even have an island that you can float in because it's 26 times saltier than the ocean. It's a really cool place. I'm sure it's going to see a lot of tourism generated from this World Cup run. But guys, I've seen the population that has been listed as 530,000 people here. That's kind of similar to Wichita. I've seen Tucson, Arizona as another city with a very comparable population size. And as you mentioned, the split, the draw there with Spain, another draw with Uruguay, and same thing with Saudi Arabia. And to play Messi and Argentina as close as they did, a refusal to go away. One of those shots from deep, kind of on the corner of the penalty box that curves in and kind of goes in the top right of the goal. Amazing stuff. You literally couldn't script a Disney movie that good.
Yeah, no, listen, it's hard. A lot of times when people see the population sizes, they don't really put that into perspective. But if you think of it this way, you mentioned that it's about the size of Wichita. Think of trying to put an all-star soccer team together with only Wichitans and how they would do against Argentina, right? And that's what you're looking at, or even, and that's the United States, 60th biggest city that you're putting an all-star soccer team together of. It's not going to fare very well against Argentina, so it's really impressive what they did. And I heard on the broadcast they kind of used their they called it a diaspora, not a term I was super familiar with, but basically it's kind of like guys that were maybe their parents were from Cape Verde and then they moved somewhere else and they came back to play for the Cape Verde. It's kind of like Balogun. He had 3 choices on what World Cup team he would play for. So they use some of their guys whose families have moved on from other places, but they have some Cape Verde roots to fill out the team. But anyway, you slice it, they had guys who were playing in the third level leagues in Germany or the second level leagues in Spain or like the MLS as like backups in the MLS. They like these guys were not well-known guys. They were not expected to be this good. And they made it all the way to face Argentina and made it out of their group. And people were using them as an example of why the World Cup shouldn't have been expanded, and they blew that up in their face. So it was a lot of fun to watch.
And maybe like the guy who you're going to think about to maybe rose to fame the most in this tournament is Vozinha, the goalie. Like his Instagram numbers, they started at 50,000 or so, which is, a lot to you and I, but to a really like a professional athlete around the world, it's not that many. Vozinha now has like 22 million followers on Instagram. Like he has demolished like the likes of NFL superstars, current and past. So it's crazy to think like how big this game is on the world stage. And how much people can fall in love with an underdog story. And Vozinha is I think a 41-year-old goalie as well. So he's likely not to be back next World Cup around. So Cape Verde, far and away the best story from the 2026 World Cup. But we talk about some of the underdogs. I don't think Norway was necessarily in the class of underdogs, but they weren't expected to go this far. I think a lot of people were thinking, okay, the Brazilians historically, they've put together some of the greatest soccer teams we've ever seen in World Cup history. But look, they don't even get to the quarterfinals because Erling Haaland. My goodness, Erling Haaland, guys. I think he really fits this day and age. I think he's relatable to the younger audience. And as far as this guy, what he does on the pitch, being like a true 6'4", 6'5", elite speed, you just kick it up to him in the box, and he's going to find a way to head it into the goal. He was sensational. And then kind of a cool, casual, nonchalant goal as well from outside the box in the 90th minute to really put Neymar and company away. Norway maybe made the biggest statement of the round of 16.
Yeah, listen, it seems like soccer, like you got 11 guys on the field, right? You look at football, they kind of call it American football, the ultimate team sport. 11 guys on the field. It is a team sport. But if you have a guy, it makes a big difference. If you have a guy that that can be a star. And Erling
A
Haaland
Viking.
is one of the best players in the world, maybe the best player in the world when you look
Right.
at what he's surrounded by and what he's doing with it. And Norway's like a European country that has some other good soccer players, I'm sure, but Erling Haaland is a difference maker, and it'll be interesting that game against England. England escaped having to go to Azteca, right? And that's going to the altitude and playing in front of 100,000 screaming Mexicans. That's a tough draw for England, and they got through it. And so it'll be interesting that game against Norway if England kind of feels relieved that they got through that one and comes out and asserts themselves. They are the favorite in the game slightly.
Okay.
And so, but that doesn't change the fact, like Harry Kane's a great player, but Erling Haaland, I think, is on a different level from anyone England has at this point. And the name of the game in soccer is somebody who can put it in the back of the net. Mm-hmm. And he's done it 7 times already in this World Cup.
I think from what we know, like Norway doesn't have the talent that a Brazil or an England does. But Norway must have played great defense through 90 minutes to not give up a single goal, because Haaland, he can only do so much as the striker defensively, right? I know he's sort of at the top. He's mucking things up. And when you get a transition, my goodness, look out. This guy can fly with elite foot speed. But the defense must have played good team soccer to not allow a goal, and then Haaland eventually took over.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And then it highlights the other fact that Brazil is not what they once were, right? And they play like, I was hearing some people talk about it earlier today, kind of a different style than the rest of the world, and they're kind of starting to play more like the rest of the world, which maybe hurts you in international competition because you want to play a way that other people haven't seen. And Brazil's won a bunch of World Cups in their history, but they were never really a huge factor in winning this World Cup. I don't think they were in like the top 8 in the odds, but kind of hovering around that bottom part of the top 8. Unlike like a Spain and a France that were really expected to go far. So I don't think people are super shocked that Norway won, but Brazil has some work to do to get back to where they were.
Devin here on the Facebook feed has given us another topic with the World Cup. You want to hear us chat about this broken arm situation? Certainly, Devin. And you're saying, hey, we're the only folks on KGSO talking soccer. I don't know what Doug's talking about for 3 hours. I know Phil's been talking a good amount of Major League Baseball. Of course, that's right up his alley. And Devin is repping the United States tonight. Should be a good one against the Belgian Waffles. My goodness. Jordan Henderson is the England player who apparently he picked up a yellow card in this one without a minute played in the match. And then they had an advertisement board that players were hopping over. He kind of maybe underestimated the effort he needed. And I think they're saying that he may have actually broke a bone in his forearm trying to protect himself on the way down. They had to bring out a stretcher for the guy. It was such an anticlimactic way to finish off what was a great victory for England over Mexico.
Yeah. Breaking your arm in a celebration is it's not the way to do it. It gives you Jeff Hostetler vibes, I think is the guy who
the kicker?
No, he's a quarterback for the Commanders' former team name, I guess you could say, that headbutted a wall one time and hurt himself pretty bad. I think it was Jeff Hostetler. Is
that
some
celebration?
Nondescript Commanders quarterback in a celebration. So, yeah, you got to be careful out there celebrating. Indiana had a player do that after after one of their wins in the college football playoff. A guy tore his ACL celebrating, jumping up to high five fans. So it's a wild world out there after you win. You're not out of the weeds after the game's over.
I know I've seen a clip where a NFL kicker
that was
knocks
Martin
a field goal
Gramatica,
through,
former K-State great.
And then jumps, maybe a fist pump, and
tore his ACL. Yeah. Yep.
Snap.
Martin Gramatica.
That's not good. That's not good. Celebrate in style and be careful.
Yeah.
All right, little World Cup chatter. We can continue it on the other side for a bit. Talk some baseball in this hour as well. Stay tuned. Call the show. What's on your mind in the sports world? We'll be back.
This segment of the Press Box is brought to you by Wichita Clear Bra, the ultimate car care and protection. Online at wichitaclearbra.com.
The Press Box on KGSO.
Want to hear more of KGSO? Don't forget to download our app today. Fill out weekly surveys, register to win great prizes, listen live, message our shows, and so much more. Plus, get reminders of special programming and games you don't want to miss. Just find SC Wichita in your app store and make KGSO your new favorite app. It's Wichita's Sports Talk, right on your phone. Download the SC Wichita app today with Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
Attention Kansas voters, this is an important reminder from the Office of the Kansas Secretary of State. Beginning this year, Kansas elections will not include a 3-day grace period. All ballots must be received by the close of polls on Election Day to be counted. If you plan to vote by mail, return your completed ballot as soon as possible. You may also return your ballot in person to your county election office. Please visit votekansas.gov to access your mail ballot application.
Sponsored by the Office of the Kansas Secretary of State and aired in cooperation with this station.
America is turning 250, and we're celebrating all month long at Midwest Kia. Join us for our Stars, Stripes, and Savings Sales event, where we're honoring America's 250th birthday with incredible savings throughout July. Celebrate extra savings on every new Kia that's built right here in America, including the award-winning Sportage, Sorento, Telluride, hybrid models, and the electrified EV6 and EV9 models. And no birthday party is complete without a present. This July, purchase any new or pre-owned vehicle and get a $250 gas gift card. It's our way of helping you enjoy the summer road ahead. Plus, every new Kia comes with that unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. And don't forget about our summer sticker sales event. Get $750 off select new Kias. Visit MidwestKia.com. And remember,
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
see dealer for details. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty.
It's time for you to crave a taco with a touch of tradition. Taco Pronto is family-owned and has been operating for nearly 55 years. Taco Pronto makes all their food in-house from scratch using the freshest ingredients at prices that you can't beat. So come on in and take advantage today at Taco Pronto's daily specials to spice up your lunch, or grab a 12-pack of corn tacos for $11.99 for a quick dinner. Taco Pronto, 8385 West 21st Street North, and taste the difference for yourself and order online at TacoProntoWichita.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Come check out the defending champion, Aftershocks, at Charles Koch Arena starting July 20th in the new look TBT. The Wichita State alums will be hosting the New Mexico alumni team as part of a best-of-3 series on the road to TBT's now $2 million prize. Dexter Dennis joins this year's roster of Shocker legends, playing July 20th and 23rd. For tickets, go to tbthoops.com, the Wichita State box office, or listen for giveaways here on this station. And stay tuned for the radio call, the Aftershocks, here on KGSO.
Wichita's sports leader, KGSO, is brought to you by Devon James. Devon James Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
Who's your favorite team? It's okay. We just know you love KGSO.
I was young, running free.
Welcome on back. It is the Press Box, 1410-93.9 KGSO, the SC Wichita app. We got Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Take your pick, drop a comment, see us, see our faces on the camera. Yes, sir. Opening segment of the show, talking some World Cup action, man. Everything from the Balogun red card at Team USA matching up tonight against Belgium. But moving through some of these storylines, got a few more to pick at.
Just real quick, I found the biggest loser on Twitter. I found him.
The biggest loser?
The biggest loser on Twitter. Named
shedding the pounds?
Claude Taylor. He's not shedding pounds. He's just a loser because he said, I'm an American who will be rooting for Belgium tonight. Get out of my face.
Wow,
with that
because
crap.
of the red card.
Because somebody gets to play in a game. Get out of my face with that crap.
Honestly,
Claude, he can go to you-know-where.
If someone's doing that, I think it's more from like the political angle.
It is.
He's
a political commentator. Yeah.
They heard Trump sort of intervened. He had a comment or something for FIFA. Trump was saying that he didn't like force FIFA into this, but he made a suggestion and, well, it came true, I guess. So
Yeah.
I would say it's more the political angle as opposed to the actual football angle on the dimensions of the pitch. All right.
For sure.
Before our show, it was wrapping up as our show began. Spain and Portugal, guys. Look, I know Neymar came out and said he's done with international play with Brazil. I imagine it's the same thing here. I think Ronaldo actually even already said it. And Portugal lost today. It was a well-thought effort. Like, it was honestly looking like we were going to get a draw, at least through the regulation period. And, well, we were just about there. 90th minute, and Mikel Merino got set up with a nice pass. He was cutting right to the goal, and pretty much just one-on-one, he and the keeper from roughly 10 feet out, and he beat him into the bottom left side of the net. I mean, Spain, a big favorite entering the tournament. Kind of France has caught up. Other teams like Argentina and even Norway are in the mix to win it. But hey, Spain moves on maybe as expected originally. Maybe you were going to see some star power show up on Spain's side. I know Lamine Yamal's kind of in the talk of the tournament as the youngster. I know they got another guy, Oyarzabal, who scored a lot of goals here in the 2026 World Cup, but neither one of them ended up hitting the back of the net, and, well, Portugal ends with a goose egg.
Yeah, it seems like for Spain, they were the favorite coming into the tournament, but it seems like maybe their best player just isn't quite in his prime yet, and that works against you, right? He's 19 years old. You look at France, right? Like, Mbappe and Dembele are both in their prime, and they're 27 and 29. Like, Erling Haaland for Norway, he's in his prime. You need your best players to be at the top of their game and not just, like, feeling their way through it. That being said, Spain is still the second favorite to win the tournament. Just since we're here, France is plus 180 now, Spain's second, and then it goes Argentina, England, Norway, Colombia, Morocco, USA at eighth. There's three under that, but yeah. So USA's climbed into the top 8.
I want to ask you about a stat in the box score, right? You go to your app of choice here for looking at sports box scores and whatnot, and I'm seeing under player stats they've got touches, goals, assists, and then they got XG. I'm looking at this expected goals. They've got like a decimal place. I'm seeing next to Ronaldo, it's like 0.28. I'm looking at it. I'm like, what the heck is that? So I'm guessing what it's saying is by the game he played, his touches, you would have expected 0.28 goals from Ronaldo. I don't know if that's something you've looked into. Or
I don't have context into that number, but I mean 0.28. It's the highest on Portugal by far in that game, so it's not a bad number. But if you look at like Oyarzabal for Spain, he was at 0.66, and Merino for Spain was at 0.55. So it's not a huge number, but it's a decent number. It's all it is really is like expected goals. So what you would have thought would have come out of their opportunities in that game. I am sure that number rarely gets to 1 for a player, even if you score a goal, right? But I haven't looked into it enough to know what like a typical good number is there.
I know Merino did score. He had the 0.55 in the XG stat. So, look, I was kind of confused. And I know with baseball, you can really break it down. You got your average, your on base percentage, your slugging percentage, your OPS for Pete's sake. I had a feeling that we were going to see stats like this here in soccer at a certain
There's
point.
a lot of analytics in soccer, right? I read an interesting book about like the advent of analytics in sports a while back. It's been a few years. I don't remember everything about it, but I can tell you that a lot of the stuff that's coming along in baseball was coming along in European soccer as well around the same time, if not sooner, as far as like player placement, GPSs on the players, things like that. And it's just like baseball, right? There's a part of the community that doesn't really like it, doesn't believe in it. And there's a part of the community that swears by it, and so it's controversial. But a lot of it came from the Red Sox owners. John Henry bought a European soccer team and kind of implemented a lot of new things into soccer in the Premier League over time that he kind of learned from being in baseball. So it's interesting to look into, but there's definitely a lot of different analytics going on in soccer now too.
You got possession percentage, where I think tells a big story, 56% to 44% in favor of the Spaniards. Expected goals, 1.77 to 0.6. In favor of Spain. Again, accurate passes, 88% to 84%. So a lot of the key team stats, they ended up winning, and it kind of made sense why they came out on top 1-0 at the end of the day.
Yeah, a lot of these stats, sometimes the stats can be deceiving. Like if you get a lead, there was a game it wasn't the Australia game, but if you get a lead, sometimes your possession will fall. It was the Bosnia-Herzegovina game, actually. When the U.S. went down to 10 players, they already had a lead, so they kind of sacrificed some possession to play defense. And so they had been way ahead in possession, and then it kind of flipped the other way. So it kind of depends on the game flow sometimes, too.
One other thing as it relates to Portugal here, having gotten bounced really right as our show started around 4 o'clock. I know Ronaldo kind of had a back and forth with a reporter earlier this week, and I'll kind of plead ignorance a little bit to the international game and the history with Ronaldo, and maybe this example with a reporter, but Ronaldo kind of pointed out in the crowd of those who were interviewing him at a press conference and said, hey, give the mic to that guy specifically. He doesn't like me. I want to hear from him. And the reporter asked him a question. I think it was like, what's the hardest part about being in the World Cup at 40 plus? And he said, kind of expectedly, dealing with guys like you. Not everybody, but specific reporters. And I think, there's a certain part of the fan base that's going to think it's kind of funny. I do think as well, like if that was a response here, if like one of our American professional athletes kind of sought out that interaction with a reporter, I think we would see mostly negative press surrounding that.
I think that's a little Bush League, right? Especially if you're specifically asking them to give that a reporter the mic, then answer his question, right? You asked for the question, right? If he got it on his own volition and you already didn't like him and you want to dodge his question, even that I don't love. But don't seek out to make a fool of him. That's kind of Bush League, if you ask me.
Again, I know he's got supporters who would probably literally die for the guy. I think at the same time, like he has an attitude. He's probably maybe earned the ego just a little bit with his all-time great play. But I think when you see stuff like that and maybe clips with he and teammates, you're thinking, do I want to root for Ronaldo or not? But the future with him is probably up for debate as far as whether he's going to continue his play on. I know he was in the Saudi League for some time as well, but we'll see what is in store for Ronaldo and the Portuguese. Maybe the last storyline here with the World Cup, Mexico and England. And this one took place
It's a hell of a game last night
in Mexico. So England was stepping into an environment that had a lot of feelings going into it, man. And England to pull off that game, impressive stuff. Look, did you see what the Mexicans have been doing outside of these hotels? I mean, making it hell. I mean, they're setting off fireworks. This is why I sleep with earplugs, guys. I'm not an athlete, but you go to a hotel, you never know what you're going to hear outside, who's going to be chanting what. And it looks like England must have got enough sleep to beat Mexico.
Yeah, they managed to beat them, but it was almost like England paid off every opportunity they had, and Mexico had a lot more opportunities, but were only able to pay it off twice. It felt like Mexico had control of the game. Well, It didn't feel that way because England was ahead the whole time. They took a 2-0 lead, which feels insurmountable in soccer. But if you were watching the game not knowing the score, it felt like Mexico was outplaying them the whole time. But it was too little too late. They given up the goal at 36 and 38, and then Mexico had a goal at 42. So there's literally 3 goals in 6 minutes of play, and then 2 other. It was a high-scoring game by soccer standards for sure. And then England got the red card, which, by the way, looked even softer than the Balogun red card. So wow, I'll just say that. But England got the red card, which gave Mexico an opportunity to play 11 on 10 for about 30 minutes. But it wasn't enough, and it ended on several opportunities in the last 2 minutes of stoppage time. But they take the loss 3-2. There was a lot made going into this about the environment in Azteca and the thin air. It's higher than Denver by about 50%. Right? It's like almost 8,000 feet above sea level. So that's got to be pretty tough.
I remember my first day just working out in the state of Utah, and I was gasping for breath way back when. Look, that's back up what you were saying about Mexico maybe playing the cleaner game. Accurate passes, 418 of them compared to just 195 from England. So you literally were doubling them up in successful passes there on the field. I thought Harry Kane played a terrific game because even he got the goal, but I thought his pass to Bellingham was even better on that goal that he had where he assisted, because it just looked like the angle to cross it into the middle was impossible. He still got it there, and Bellingham got it into the net. So congrats to England. But you're right, one of those momentum swings where Mexico really started to feel like, okay, you get that goal. You saw 3 goals in the span of about 6 total minutes. You're thinking, okay, Mexico's right back in it. A 3-1 lead does make it tougher, but towards the end, when you started to get to the end of regular time, you were thinking, oh my goodness, maybe the Mexicans can storm and tie this thing.
Mexico needed to not surrender again, right? Once they went down 2-0, I was watching, I was like, they need to score 1 before the half, right? Get it to 2-1, that feels better. Like, if you score, you tie it. But surrendering the 3rd goal killed them, because then you're desperate. You're playing desperate. Although they scored in the 69th minute, so they still had about 20, 30 minutes to score another one after that. But it's also a case of, you go down 2 goals, you might get a little gassed, right? We see it all the time in basketball, right? Team goes down 20, they come all the way back to within 2 or 3, but they don't have enough left in the legs to actually finish the comeback at the end of the game, and maybe a little of that happened to Mexico last night.
All right, we'll take a breather, man, just like these guys are doing with their hydration breaks. I would be in favor. I know the clock is ticking up, and I get why it does that. But maybe just stop the clock when they're having the hydration break. Someone gets hurt, and instead of having to add the plus at the end, and I don't know, being a little bit more specific with the clock, which is a big thing in sports.
It would be easier to just have a clock operator than to count time all the time.
Yeah. It leaves it in the gray area, and then fans start thinking all over the place.
Conspiracy theories, yeah.
All right, we'll be back. It's the Press Box.
Call the Press Box now on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines at 522-1410.
The Press Box on KGSO.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
And it is Jason Tatum and friends. What kind of pressure's on him right now in B-Town?
I think just the normal pressures that he's always had. Even when he didn't win the Finals MVP, if you want to just be honest, go look at the numbers. Who led in every statistical category? It was Jason Tatum.
This is The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Evenings on KGSO. And find KGSO on the SC Wichita app.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's finally here, and we're kicking it off with a whole lot of free. Free brake pads with Duralast rotors. Free oil filter with 5 quarts of oil. Free Armor All wipes with Armor All glass cleaner, and more. More free, so you can have more summer. Celebrate free at AutoZone. Now through July 27th. Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
This is the Jason Smith Show.
Check this out.
Pay attention. With Mike Harmon.
The home field advantage for the United States in this World Cup is immeasurable. This is an advantage that I can't believe I didn't take enough of this into account, that this was going to be such a big deal for the United States.
You're listening to Jason Smith with Mike Harmon.
Overnights with Jason Smith here on KGSO.
This is The Herd.
You got to be consistent.
With Colin Cowherd.
Mike check. Everybody has a boss. Even Elon Musk. It's called the IRS. And about a year ago, Trump. Everybody's got a boss. Brad Stevens is a general manager, not an owner. The Celtics are owned by an investment group that does not also own TD Garden. So they're not swimming in cash. It's not very profitable. Trading Supermax players in 2026, bro, it's hard. Cost control is everything. It's not stacking rosters. It's not the 80 Lakers. Think about this. The Milwaukee Bucks were offered Jaylen Brown, All-NBA, 2 first-round picks. The Milwaukee Bucks said, nah, we'll take Tyler Hero, rotational players, and more picks. The hell? That's the new NBA.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Wow.
Weekdays at 11 a.m. right here on KGSO and on the SC Wichita app.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Kansas knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
20 years old and still going strong. This is Wichita's home for sports talk. KGSO.
All right, wrapping up the first hour of the Press Box on KGSO. Jacob Zimmerman, Sasha Bushka, taking you home, taking you out, whatever you're doing. We appreciate you choosing the longest-running sports talk station in the ICT. KGSO 21 years strong. And talking World Cup to open up the show. Let's shift gears here, if you will. I do want to talk about some Major League Baseball that's on the slate. We'll get to NFL or move into the AFC East with a comprehensive coverage starting at 5 o'clock. But let's entertain a little action here on the Diamond. Two storylines. One, we can start off locally with the Royals. Then we'll get to, I think, an atrocity in baseball with the Miami Marlins pulled last night. But speaking of getting pulled, man, Christopher Sanchez, he was riding high, guys, as one of the best pitchers so far in all of Major League Baseball, right? Like the NL race for Cy Young, it's set to be a good one. You got Ohtani in the mix, you got The Miz, you got Sanchez, and, well, he entered today. Christopher Sanchez, starting pitcher for the Phillies, this afternoon's contest against the Kansas City Royals, looking to win 2 out of 3, but the Royals actually steal it from him with a 15-1 victory today. And Sanchez, look, I mentioned it, entered today with a 2 ERA. He had an entire month. I believe it was, I think it was May, where he was flawless. He did not give up a single run. Guys, he got waxed, demolished. Sanchez gave up 9 earned runs and 12 hits in 3.1 innings pitched. His ERA is now a 2.62. It grew 0.26. This far into the season, he had already pitched 100-plus innings. And guys, the Royals lit him up in the first inning with a 6 spot. Guys, get this. The Royals scored in every inning they took an at-bat. They did not bat the bottom of the ninth at Kauffman Stadium in their 15-1 victory. I mean, you go 6, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2 to close it out.
Yeah, the 6-run first gave them a cushion, and then they just kind of kept tacking on one at a time. So, yeah, it's nice to see the Royals win 15-1, right? But, consistency is key, right? You save up those 15 runs, spread them across 3 games, and try to win 3. How about that? But it's nice to see Bobby Witt with a couple of hits, Cags with a couple of hits, Salvador Perez with a home run. Really everybody in the lineup. They had 22 hits, so almost everybody had a multi-hit game. Tolbert, who's been filling in at shortstop for Bobby Witt as he DHs, had 5 hits, 5 for 5. That's more rare than you'd think in baseball to have a 5-hit game. So good for him. To get that experience, and we'll live to play tomorrow, I guess.
We'll see what happens. It's the up and down roller coaster of the Major League Baseball season. I'm over here potentially overreacting or just taking what is a rare bright spot and running with it here with the Royals, who are still, I mean, very far under 500, guys. They're 37 and 54. That is 17 games. They've got plenty of work to do. I think realistically, a wild card is kind of out of range. We were talking about them at the bottom of the American League standings a few days ago, for crying out loud. So what this performance does prove, though, is that vibes and momentum matter so much in baseball. And I got to think the vibe in this locker room, in the dugout, is just horrible because, yes, this team was maybe searching for an 80-win season this year, but, I mean, they're on pace for 70, maybe just to even get there. And so I know when you have a superstar, you have some vets who have experienced, real playoff success, and you gotta kind of lull yourself through the season. The vibes were off. And so I think when you realize, hey, we're finally going to get a big win here. You're up 6-1 at the end of the first inning. Maybe that had to play a little bit of a factor as to why the Royals just kept pouring it on. Maybe the Phillies threw in the towel as well, but
yeah, it's nice to have that kind of performance against a pitcher who's been pitching as good as Sanchez has, right? Like, it's not like you teed off on the 5th starter or something. So maybe that gives some confidence to some of the bats, and they can go on a little streak. But they're 3-7 in their last 10, and that includes winning their last 2. So it was pretty bleak before that. But as Phil always says, if they win one more, that's what you call a winning streak. So give them one more. Phil will not count it as a winning streak unless you get to 3, which I agree with. Right? I don't think 2 games constitutes a winning streak. But that's just me. I guess anything could be considered a streak.
All right, let's go to the Marlins, guys.
Oh, this one grinds my gears, Jacob.
Clayton McCullough, he's the manager of the Marlins. And I got to think, his leash, perception-wise from the public, he's not going to be sitting pretty. Because, yes, the Marlins are actually 7 games above 500, which is probably good enough to keep his job. Let's be realistic here. But what you did to poor man Yuri Perez. Guys, Perez, he's 6'8" on the mound. He looks like Randy Johnson out there, and he was pitching like him. 8 Ks, 7 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks. It was a perfect game, guys. And let's face it, the history of the Miami Marlins, the Florida Marlins, it's been bad. They don't really do anything of relevance. And you could have brought a lot of eyes to the sport. But maybe you did now with a horrible decision to pull him. You go on to nearly lose this game. You won 9-8. You gave up 8 runs in the last 2 innings when he didn't pitch. Sad to see. So sad.
Yeah, I'll just give you a number here. 24 is the number. That's how many perfect games there's been in the history of Major League Baseball. They've been playing this sport since the 1800s. So this is a truly rare opportunity. I can't assure you, but I can tell you with a lot of certainty that he will probably never get that close to a perfect game again in his career. So I read up on it. Like he was coming back on a strict pitch count because I guess he's coming back from an injury, a leg injury though, not an arm injury.
Oh man.
He's never pitched more than 102 pitches in a game. The reality is, you put him back out there in the 8th, he might have given up a hit or walked a batter right off the bat. You can pull him then. You can't pull him while he has a perfect game. And they won 9-8. There was 2 innings left, and they gave up 8 runs after they pulled him. So it would have been really sad if they lost the game.
I wish they would have lost, honestly.
Yeah, then he would have had more questions to answer for sure.
You feel bad because that's a decision that your team made, right?
The guy who replaced him failed to record a single out and gave up 5 runs.
Like, I had never heard of a Yuri Perez before. And honestly, moving forward, I might never hear his name again unless they play the Royals.
Right.
Dude.
The road to the football season starts at Big 12 Media Days, July 7th and 8th. Join KGSO live from the Star in Texas for coach and player interviews as the excitement builds for what promises to be a thrilling season for both KU and K-State. Get extensive coverage on Wichita's #1 sports talk, KGSO, during the game plan and press box, bringing you the latest news and insights straight from Big 12 Media Days. Coverage is proudly sponsored by Moneytown Pawn, Jewelry Savers, B&C Barbecue, and Mr. B's Donuts.
Here she comes.
Surprise! They sent a duplicate shipment to your flower shop. Now you have to pay for 1,000 extra carnations. Also, there's a beehive outside your store, and they're super aggressive. There's thousands of them.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise, saving 10% or more on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, the egg salad you just ate was expired. Gross.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
America is turning 250, and we're celebrating all month long at Midwest Kia. Join us for our Stars, Stripes, and Savings Sales event, where we're honoring America's 250th birthday with incredible savings throughout July. Celebrate extra savings on every new Kia that's built right here in America, including the award-winning Sportage, Sorento, Telluride, hybrid models, and the electrified EV6 and EV9 models. And no birthday party is complete without a present. This July, purchase any new or pre-owned vehicle and get a $250 gas gift card. It's our way of helping you enjoy the summer road ahead. Plus, every new Kia comes with that unbeatable 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. And don't forget about our summer sticker sales event. Get $750 off select new Kias. Visit MidwestKia.com. And remember,
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
see dealer for details. Warranties a limited powertrain warranty.
Fierce coins and bullion, Kansas's premier bullion dealer.
Do you need to get rid of some jewelry? Don't waste any time and stop by Phil's Coins and Bullion today. Phil's Coins will give you top dollar for any of your unwanted jewelry. Whether it's gold or silver, get the most out of the unwanted jewelry in your drawer and do it with Phil's Coins and Bullion, 9344 West Central Avenue.
Fierce coins and bullion, fiercecoins.com.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. I'm here to warn you about telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Some of these scammers may say threatening things like you will be arrested if you don't make payments or provide personal information. Do not fall for these tricks. These calls are not from us. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you for information or money. If you receive a call like this, hang up. Never give the caller your personal information, like your Social Security number or bank account, or send money in any form, cash, gift cards, wire transfers, or prepaid debit cards. Report the call to our law enforcement arm, the Office of the Inspector General, at oig.ssa.gov. Share this information with your friends and family.
My teenage son only has one brain, and it'll keep developing through his mid-20s. But if he uses e-cigarettes, the nicotine in them can impact attention, learning, and memory, and can prime the brain for addiction. So I've talked to him about staying away from e-cigarettes, because my son only has one brain.
Learn more at cdc.gov/e-cigarettes today. A message from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and this station.
This is Wichita's sports station, K230BY, 93.9 FM, 1410 AM, and 99.7 HD3. KGSO Belle Plaine, Wichita. Broadcasting live from the KGSO studios in West Wichita.
I feel more informed when I listen.
This is The Press Box on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
The Press Box on KGSO.
It is time for hour number 2 of the Press Box here on KGSO Sports Radio, 20-plus years strong. And in the KGSO studio, we got Jacob Zimmerman and Sasha Bushka in the house through 1 hour of the show where we've talked a good amount about soccer, guys. Football, World Cup, USA tonight, 7 p.m. start. Pelicans going to play. The red card, the suspension has been lifted. Suck on that, Belgium. All right.
Oh, wow. That was a truly American way to put it. I appreciate your candor, Jacob.
Oh, spark a firework in the back, eat a hot dog, a burger. Did you have a good 4th of July?
Yeah. Yeah, we should talk about the 4th of July.
Yeah,
There's
man.
a lot of fireworks in this city. I can tell you that.
Dude, it sounded like a war zone where I was at.
It is an absolute war zone. We went out to west of town, not in Colwich, but like in Colwich city limits, but like right off of 167th there. We were able to look west towards Goddard and Andale and all the towns, and there was fireworks going up, and we had a lot of open spaces. It was fun.
I was coming back from a buddy's, and it was maybe 9, 10 o'clock at night, and the sun had gone down, pretty much pitch black. And due to like the land and the flatness of Kansas, right? Like I'm coming back into Wichita. And from my angle, like in front of me, to the left, to the right, and I could see very far. I was seeing so many fireworks. It was insane. I got a nice video of all them off in the
It's cool because you
distance.
don't even have to really like find a fireworks show to go to. You just go outside and there they are, right? Which is cool. I'm surprised nothing burned down in this town, right? No. Hot, windy, but turned out okay.
Like in other areas, you can't see these fireworks. Other areas of the country, because you got trees, you got mountains.
Yeah.
That's not at play here.
Like in certain places, right, where fires are common, they're just like, no, you're not doing that, right? You're not just shooting off fireworks wherever you want. Like there's people whose job is literally to shoot off fireworks, professional, and these fireworks that are getting shot off by your neighbors literally are the ones that the people whose job it is to shoot off fireworks are doing, and just Joe Schmo is over here just lighting off mortar shells 20 feet away from you. Like, it's amazing that more people don't get hurt, to be honest. But it's America. I'm excited. I like the fireworks. It's fun. I didn't spend any money on fireworks, and I'm proud of it.
I heard plenty. I realized when I walked outside at the end of the night, I'm like, wait, my car was the closest one to the fireworks, and I'm just glad I didn't have like a tire on fire.
I had like soot all over the hood of my car. We had 2 cars in the driveway. My car's red and my wife's car is white, and you couldn't see anything on my wife's car, on the white car, but on the red car, it was like the whole hood was orange. It was like all the firework dust came down on the top of the hood. I don't know where that came from, or if it was one incident or just everything coming from the air, but it's interesting to say the least.
All right, speaking of interesting, I don't know how interesting the New York Jets are, but
here we go.
It's the comprehensive coverage series
of all 32 NFL teams.
Resuming the most important segment of the year, guys.
Of the year?
Of the offseason.
Maybe of like the next two. I'm not even going to give it that.
Tell your grandkids about it one day. All right, we have done the NFC North, the AFC North, the NFC South, the AFC South. And, well, last week we did the NFC East, so that means you've got the AFC Least? East? Whatever you want to call
they had two
division.
really good teams last year.
The Ghost of Brady?
The Bills and the Patriots were both really good last year. One of them was in the Super Bowl. One of them has the best quarterback in NFL history.
Whoa.
According to a bunch of people on these airwaves that are delusional.
We got to clip that up and save it, man.
Just don't forget the part about the delusional.
What did Sasha say today? My goodness.
But yeah, when it comes to the Jets, they decidedly don't have the best quarterback in NFL history. They went back to the Geno well.
Oh, close. Close. All right. 2025, what went down? Uno, dos, tres. 3 wins. That's it. 3-14 for the Jets. We just suck. Look, you got to scroll quite a ways before you find a winning season. It has been since 2015. My life has changed a lot since 2015. I remember this team when they had Mark Sanchez. LaDainian Tomlinson was even on this squad back in 2010. Like, they've had a few, like, defensive players, Bart Scott. Like, they've had a Revis, but they've never been able to put it together. And honestly, ownership-wise, coaching-wise, they've been on a tough stretch. I mean, they had 2 years of Adam Gase.
Yeah, the Sanchez days with Rex Ryan are long in the past, and they did make 2 AFC Championship games under Mark Sanchez. It wasn't because of him. It was because their defense was really good, and we all know what's going on with Sanchez now. So it's better days have been in place for him.
You're reminding me of that story. We haven't heard about him since.
Yeah, but I think it's more the same for the Jets this year, right? They kind of intentionally didn't get better this offseason. They want to have the number 1 pick next year. The problem is could Geno Smith almost be just a little bit too good for them to get the number 1 pick? I don't think Geno Smith's good, but he's unpredictable. Let's say that.
Okay.
He had years where he led Seattle to an over 500 record. He was bad last year in Las Vegas. I think he'll be bad in New York because everyone's bad there, and he's been bad there before, and Seattle's a lot better infrastructure. But it's a risk, right? If Geno just happens to have a decent season, I don't think they're going to go over 500 or anything like that, but it's a thin margin to get that number 1 pick, right? If you win 5 games, you don't get it. And so I'm just saying, you could have just kept Justin Fields or, whatever.
Kept a perennial backup. That would have led you to the number 1 overall pick. The Jets have a way of winning a Week 16 game and then blowing their first overall pick.
Yes, they have been known to do that. Although that wasn't the case last year. That was the Giants who did that last year. The Jets were smart enough to lose their last 5, but it still wasn't quite good enough.
All right, I'm going to go out of order here while it's on my mind, just to get this mention. The ownership with the Jets, it is the Johnson family, Woody Johnson and Christopher Johnson. I'm going to mark these guys down as X Factors. Because, look, can you really make an X Factor for the season with the Jets? I mean, we were talking about Geno, and you're doing everything you can to give Geno a layup. But at the end of the day is he went to the Vegas Raiders, and after 1 season, they were done with this dude, right? He was coming off of, a nice turnaround season. His career saw its peak with the Seattle Seahawks, and then Sam Darnold said, "Oh, Geno, I saw what you did on the Seahawks. I'm going to just completely steamroll over your mini legacy there and go win a Super Bowl with Seattle." And so the last 3 years, honestly, in hindsight, haven't looked as good as you would have thought for Geno.
No, that's true, right? Seattle, I think, gave him a lot of opportunities to like he just had to not screw it up for them to win 9 games, right? Or even screw it up some and they'd win 9 games. Yeah. And so you're right about that. As far as Woody Johnson goes, I don't know if you knew this. He is the current United States ambassador to the United Kingdom, which a lot of people thought would be a good thing for the Jets to kind of get him out of the picture a little bit, but it hasn't worked so far. But that's a role he took on when Trump got elected for his second term. Okay. And so
But wait a minute, wouldn't they go and play overseas a lot more? It's always the Jags instead. Send the Jets overseas across the pond. No one wants to watch them at 7 a.m. We'll all be asleep. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's been in and out of that position, right? He's been in politics a little bit. Like every shampoo bottle you've ever had or everything that's ever been made. Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson. Yeah, that's where these guys come from. So they got a lot of money. Give me a break. They're not using it right. Give me a break, man. If the shampoo bottles have the same success as the football team, maybe I gotta wash myself with something else. Anyway, moving through here. Aaron Glenn, I was kind of surprised to see him live the offseason. Like this man survived and is going to go into his second year as the head coach of the Jets. I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's like a room temperature take. He will not last the season. They will get rid of him. Like, I think they didn't want to just go like from coach to coach, especially if you're trying to hire another guy after. It's like, what's even the motivation to apply for the Jets head coaching vacancy? And so therefore they're keeping him around for at least a season and a half. Like, you were hired as a defensive coordinator, and then your defense set a record for the fewest interceptions ever as a squad with 0.
A record that cannot be broken, right?
0.
0. Aaron Glenn, I don't think he's lasting long there. And the reality is, Detroit's defense wasn't that good ever. Ben Johnson was good. I understand why he got a head coaching job, but it might have been Detroit's defense might have been better this year after Aaron Glenn left, and to be a guy who cut your teeth in the secondary and then get no interceptions is really bad. The other, I don't know if it's a problem for the Jets, but it might be in hiring their next coach, is if Robert Saleh goes to Tennessee and does well, that's a referendum on the Jets organization. Oh, yeah. And the fact that he went back to San Francisco and dominated even more than he did the first time and then got another head coaching job, they're one little step away from him doing well in Tennessee, and every head coach on the market saying, I don't think you can win with the Jets. I don't want that job, right? And then you get the 6th or 7th best candidate instead of the first best, or you have to pay big bucks for somebody. But either way you slice it, the Jets are they're not the best organization to be a part of.
It's like the Cowboys getting Schottenheimer because a lot of the coaches who were decent candidates didn't want to go be the yes man for Jerry Jones.
Jerry didn't want them, right? The best candidates aren't going to be a yes man, so Jerry didn't want them either. I'll say this, another thing about the quarterback situation. We talked about Geno doing decent in Seattle because of the good infrastructure, but Sam Darnold kind of blowing that up. Let's not forget that Sam Darnold started his career with the Jets. So it's another example of no one can succeed with the New York Jets because now he's winning Super Bowls, or at least one of them, and won 14 games with the Vikings as well. It wasn't that great in Carolina, but that was like his first stop after the Jets. He needed a little time to recoup, get the stage off of himself.
No one.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to last year's schedule. You started 0-7. It's never good for your playoff chances, guys. Justin Fields, it was obvious, like, people were trying to tell me, oh, Justin Fields, his own team. He's away from Pittsburgh. He can just shine, right? Nope. I mean, you beat the Bengals by 1 point. That doesn't look good, guys. Cleveland, you beat them by a touchdown. You beat the Falcons by 3 points. So even in their wins, they're not really impressive. I mean, you got waxed at the Saints by 20+ late in the year. New England just throttled you by 30 late in the season as well. You started off with a heartbreaking loss to Pittsburgh, and You never really got over it. You lost by 2 to Tampa
They
as well.
finished the season losing 35-8 to Buffalo in a game that Josh Allen didn't play in. So kind of tells you what you need to know. Or finish the season that way, yeah. So, yeah, the Jets started bad. They were bad in the middle, and they ended bad. I guess you could argue they had they won 3 out of 5 right in the middle. So, but it doesn't sound as good to say they were good in the middle. So I'll just say the Jets stunk the whole season.
I don't think anyone's going to fight you on that.
Yeah.
All right. Looking at some name value here in the team. I mean, we talked about Geno. Wichita, you got Breece Hall. And look, Breece Hall, he's choosing the money over the team's success. Look, man, you can get yourself a nice mansion, even in New York. Square foot size might not be that big, but congrats.
In fairness to Breece, you can say he's choosing the money, which I actually think even if if it was that simple, I'd be fine with it, right? Because running backs have short careers and you should get the money. But also, the Jets had player control over him with the franchise tags and everything for several years. You've got to get the long-term deal while you can as a running back. And if he didn't take the long-term deal with the Jets, they might not have ever let him get to that point. They might have just kept franchising him. So I think he was kind of in a rock and a hard place. He had to sign with the Jets. Once this deal's up, either the Jets will be better by then or he can go try to play for a contender. But I don't think Breece Hall really had much of a decision to make. And really the running back room is the shining star of the New York Jets because if you look at his backup, Braylon Allen, he's really good too. And so they have 2 good running backs and no good anything else.
Well, I don't even want them to have a good backup running back because this has Breece Hall fantasy masterclass written all over it if he can stay healthy. I mean, yes, there's Garrett Wilson. Cool. Adonai Mitchell. Nice. Omar Cooper Jr. out of Indiana. That's a nice pickup out of the draft. But Kenyon Sadiq, he may catch some balls this year at the tight end spot. He was the first-round selection. But, guys, Breece Hall, he's going to go in your first 2 rounds of the fantasy draft.
It's a culture problem in New York, right? You just reading off those skill position players, it doesn't sound that bad, but it's just not knowing how to win games. I will say this about Breece Hall and fantasy impact. Historically, over the years, the one thing about Breece Hall in fantasy that you can count on was him catching a lot of passes and getting a lot of receiving yards and maybe some touchdowns off receiving. The fact that Justin Fields is out should help that, right?
Yeah.
Geno's going to dump it off, right? He's not going to try to run. Justin Fields every once in a while was going to tuck it and take it himself. So it should be a better year for Breece Hall from a fantasy perspective.
Look, sometimes you tell me not to feel bad for a professional athlete making $40 million, but Minka Fitzpatrick traded from the Dolphins to the Jets. I mean, both situations were going to be bad.
Yeah, he got some years in Pittsburgh. He's fine.
Yeah, man. His best days are behind him. This is the kind of season that's going to make him want to retire.
Yeah, and I don't think he will quite yet, but he's been a really good player in this league for a while. He's kind of bounced around. The Dolphins traded him for a couple first-rounders, and then the Steelers traded him back to the Dolphins a few years later, and now he's on the Jets. There's some name value on the defensive side for the Jets. They traded Quentin Williams midseason last year to the Cowboys, but they still have Will McDonald IV, who out of Iowa State, who's been a decent pass rusher. Demario Davis is now one of their off-ball linebackers.
Yep.
David Bailey's their number 2 overall pick out of Texas Tech. So they're heavy on the edges in being good there. They're also heavy on Indiana players. You already mentioned Omar Cooper Jr. They also drafted D'Angelo Pons to be like a nickelback for them. So there's some makings of some talent in New York. It's just a question, can Aaron Glenn do anything with it? And what does Geno Smith do? And do they have anyone on the offensive line? Those are 3 big questions.
I think the best case scenario for the Jets is to squeak out 7 wins somehow, some way. But it's really the development of like a David Bailey with a 10-plus sack season. I think you need to see Garrett Wilson kind of get back to the trajectory he was on. When you had Aaron Rodgers doing anything, and Garrett Wilson, by the time he's in his mid to late 20s, is he like a top 10 wide receiver? And he's now off that track.
This is kind of the conundrum of teams that are really bad year after year after year, is when you look at their roster, you think like there's something there because they're picking in the top 10 every single draft. And these guys from college, they're not horrible players. It's just the culture of losing year after year after year. It just keeps, and then every year you're like, am I trying to win, or I'm in the sweepstakes to get a quarterback and get the number 1 pick? And then when you do, you draft Zach Wilson with the number 2 pick, and it just resets the thing all over again. And so, yeah, there's some names there that you think, hey, those could be talented players, but I have to see it to believe it.
I played against Zach Wilson in high school, and while he was good, I wasn't thinking, quarterback of the Jets good. Well, maybe quarterback of the Jets bad is how you would frame it.
Yeah.
All right. I threw down Wilson. I threw down their owners as X factors. Any other X factor to think about?
Let's say Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end. Just as a rookie, can he come in and make a big impact right away? And then on the defensive side, I mentioned him already. But David Bailey's their high pick, but I'll actually go to the other edge. Will McDonald IV, if he can have a breakout type season. They cleared the deck a little bit with their edges, so he'll have a chance to get a lot of opportunities this year.
All right. This is a tough ask, but we've got to deliver on a prediction, a record prediction for the Jets. And I haven't even looked at their over-under win total projection. I would guess it's like 4.5, honestly. Well, 4th place schedule. That means you should, in theory, get some easy layups. You've got Tennessee to start off. You've got Cleveland week 5. You've got Miami and the Raiders back-to-back, 7 and 8. You play the Chiefs. That's not a layup, though. You got Arizona. You got Minnesota late in the season. Like, you can pick out some wins here. The Dolphins twice, division schedule. That'll be quite the matchup, folks. Not really. I'm feeling with the Jets here. I think Geno's a little bit more mature. They've gone 7-5 and then 3. I think I'll go 5 wins. I'll go 5-12 for the Jets. I think there's an opportunity to maybe even sweep the Dolphins. Like, guys, I might have the Dolphins being even worse than the Jets. And that's saying something. I'll go 5 wins for Jets.
I'd take the potential that Malik Willis knows what he's doing than the retread of Geno Smith. But we'll get to the Dolphins tomorrow. This is probably close to their floor that I'm projecting. And so, but either way, I'm going with it. I'm saying they win 3 games this year. I'm saying they win in week 5 at home against Cleveland. And then they get 2 in a row at home against Miami, at home against Las Vegas, 7 and 8. And then they just lose every game the rest of the season.
I love you're picking a win streak on a team that's going to go 3-14.
3 out of 4, 5, 7, and 8. Boom. After that, no dice.
What is that, the craps table?
Yes. Lucky number 7.
Oh, never lucky. Never lucky. Some bot wants us to talk after our stream. No, sir.
This segment of the Press Box is brought to you by Wichita Clear Bra, the ultimate car care and protection. Online at wichitaclearbra.com.
The Press Box on KGSO.
This is Stu Gatz and Company live.
The audience wants this.
You're listening to Stu Gatz and Company live.
Izzy, I am so confused. The United States appears to finally be good at soccer, and I have no idea what the Celtics were thinking by trading Jaylen Brown to a team they just lost to and making the Sixers a better team than the Boston Celtics. So confused.
Stu Gatz and Company live.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. on KGSO and on the SC Wichita app.
Looking for a new-to-you ride? For over 70 years, customers have trusted Rusty Egg Ford with quality vehicles and exceptional service. We have 500 used cars available with 150 Ford Blue Advantage certified. From fuel-efficient cars to tough trucks and versatile SUVs, you'll find quality, value, and selection all in one place. That's peace of mind with every mile. Buy with confidence at Rusty Egg Ford. Visit rustyeggford.com. Family owned and simply the best place to buy. See dealer for details.
Shh, here she comes.
Surprise! They sent a duplicate shipment to your flower shop. Now you have to pay for 1,000 extra carnations. Also, there's a beehive outside your store, and they're super aggressive. There's thousands of them.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise, saving 10% or more on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, the egg salad you just ate was expired. Gross.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in Kansas. This is sportsmanship. School sports. It's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Hailstorms can cause widespread damage to one's home. After these storms, dishonest contractors show up, hoping to make a quick buck from your insurance claim. They'll promise anything if they can get you to sign a contract, collect your payment in advance, and ultimately do no work at all. Avoid being the victim of contractor fraud. Get estimates from at least 3 contractors. Check references, and remember, if you didn't request it, reject it.
To report fraud, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB. This is a public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Wichita's sports leader, KGSO, is brought to you by Devon James. Devon James Injury Lawyers. Call 888-8888.
That's 888-8888.
John Stugatz, afternoons on Wichita's sports station, KGSO.
What I was wearing, the yellow dashes in the street. I prayed those lights would take me home. Then I heard, hey kid, get out of the road. I don't wanna be here, I don't wanna be here. Can't feel my legs, I might suffocate. There's a pressure in my chest. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. What's about to happen? What's about to happen? I remember.
We are back on the airwaves, folks. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Around this time on Wednesdays, we do play Big Deal, No Big Deal. And, well, I thought it was going to be a big deal to bring on Jason Kinander. He is caught up in some travel. He was saying he was actually in France a moment ago. He was texting me on the plane on his travel back here to the States, and I was joking, and I'm like, dude, if you're texting on a plane, that means it's just going to crash and burn. And
he's in France. Nah, you can text on planes now, man. What year are you living in?
I don't know. They're like, man, you gotta text. You gotta shut up your laptop on the way down.
They have free texting in there. Well, you pay for the Wi-Fi. It's $8, and you text all you want. iMessages, Wi-Fi, like you can text on planes now. This isn't 1997, Jacob.
They
before
tried
texting existed.
Well, on 97, you could bring anything on a plane, but I besides the point.
Unfortunately,
besides the point, I lost my train of thought there. We're gonna get to another. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse with this, but each their new, right? Another hoops story with someone up to something, man. We go to the college ranks, right? We go to college basketball and we got this scam going on. And what's different about this scam, right? About this kerfuffle, it's not a betting scam. Finally, right? It's not someone tanking their own performance, but I do think Kerr Kriza has found himself in a load of trouble, guys. Fraud. Carried out a scheme to obtain nearly $2.2 million from multiple victims using false representations, fabricated identities, and deceptive communications. Oh, no. Kriisa last played for, get this, guys. Where's a lot of trouble been transferring from in college sports? You guys know Brennan Sorsby? He last played for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Oh, Kriisa last played for Cincinnati. Now, to be fair, this has been going on. They're calling it a 4-year scheme from Kriisa. His college season, his college career lasts 6 years.
I just realized how dumb this guy is. You know how he got arrested by federal agents in Lexington, Kentucky, because he returned to the United States to play in the TBT. He's playing on La Familia, Kentucky's alumni team.
No way.
He returned to the United States to promote and play for La Familia, which is what Kentucky calls their alumni team for whatever reason. And he was arrested by federal agents in Lexington, Kentucky, and is undergoing extradition to West Virginia to face federal charges. He could have just never come to the United States again, and he would have been off scot-free. Now he's facing wire fraud, the whole 9 yards. I find this story interesting because it has nothing to do with the integrity of the game. It's not gambling at all. It's basically like, think about if you've ever gotten an email from a Nigerian prince asking you for money. That's what Kirk Kriisa was doing for 4 years while he was in the States. The federal agents caught on to it. They just had to hide in the weeds until he came to play in an alumni basketball tournament, and boom.
You're telling me like the giveaway for a free car? That you can just punch your email in and sign up, and then you're going to win the free car?
Yeah, just
like
whatever
that random
whatever
text?
email you've gotten that says, as long as if you wire me $100 right now, I'm going to return $10,000. That's what Kirk Kriisa was doing. He was just scamming people via the internet.
If you're not stupid enough to get scammed, call the show. 316-522-1410. You guys have been lackluster on the phone lines today.
Lackluster. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out.
Wichita.
Lackluster.
522.
Get it going.
1410. Guess not able to make the show. You got to make the show.
Tell us if you think Balogun should play tonight is one thing I'd be interested in from the callers. Because some people are saying online like he should just sit, even though they're letting him play because they brought politics into football.
Come on.
These Europeans are being soft about the whole deal, right? Like a decision got made. There was an appeal, and the disciplinary board ruled in his favor. Get over yourselves.
It would actually be soft if Balogun was like, oh, they're going to let me play, but I'm not going to play anyway because of all the people who are crying their eyes out.
On Twitter.
I'm gonna feel bad for those guys, and I'm just going to sit my butt here in the seat. No, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that either. This is America.
F yeah. I think for this, the details here are crazy with this college basketball scandal, because I'm almost used to saying, throwing games or betting scandal. No, it's just it's a classic thing that really anyone could try to get away with. Anyone could attempt, but you gotta be gutsy, you gotta be ballsy, you gotta be outside of your rocker to do something like this. And allegedly acting as a woman named Irene to sign a fraudulent promise to repay one of the victims $100,000 that you had asked for.
I would classify it as a scam scandal that happened to be carried out by someone who played college basketball, right? Not as a college basketball scandal. And that's what makes it it's kind of a breath of fresh air that it's not something that is actually related to college basketball. It's just something we can talk about that this guy stinks. He should go to jail because he's screwing people out of money, but he didn't try to gamble on his own games or throw games or anything that we know of yet, right? But Kirk Kriisa, right? He had a while there later in his career at Arizona where he was kind of a big deal, right? He averaged almost double figures and a bunch of assists, led the Pac-12 in assists, went to West Virginia. It was kind of on a down time for West Virginia. I think he was there the season that Bob Huggins got fired, where he got recruited by Bob Huggins, but then they played with an interim, and then he played a year at Cincinnati. He kind of got worse as his career went on, it seemed like. But he's a name I knew for sure, and the main thing I remember about him is him being a Euro and from Estonia. He always had Kerr on the back of his jersey instead of Kriisa.
Gotcha.
Because he, for whatever reason, some countries flip the names, and so he had Kerr on the back of his jersey, which everybody thought some white guard named Kerr, and Steve Kerr went to Arizona, so everybody thought it was Steve Kerr's kid for a while, and then you realize it was some Estonian named Kerr Kriisa. But at least that's what I thought when I first saw him. But now it turns out he was just wire frauding people left and right the whole time he was in the States.
Yeah, I think Steve Kerr's actual son, I'd have to be very careful saying his name on air.
Don't say his name. Don't do it. Don't even risk it.
Nicholas,
yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. Like, sound it out there in the hospital before you write the name down on the birth certificate. But Kriisa, I think maybe it helps the perception a little bit that he's a foreign guy as opposed to a guy growing up here in the States and getting involved like this. You go from Arizona to West Virginia to Kentucky to Cincinnati in the span of 4 years. It's kind of hard to track an individual if he's all over the place doing this across multiple states. But what I think he can hang his head on is, at least in college basketball, is the West Virginia season. 11 points per game. He shot 42% from downtown on 6 attempts per game. He wasn't really close to that in each of his every other seasons, efficiency-wise. And, Kentucky really played awful. And then Cincinnati never really got going, kind of had some DNPs in there as well.
Yeah. Kerr Kriisa. I got a little bit of an update on the Balogun situation. And this game starts in an hour and a half. So Belgium sent a warning to the U.S. that if Balogun was on the lineup card, right, like on the sheet to be a participant in this game, that they would challenge it, and then that would open it up for them to be able to, like, appeal the contest later on. So Belgium's not going down lightly in this deal, so like a lot could happen in the next hour and a half.
They sound like some soggy waffles.
They're sending warnings to the U.S. Yeah, listen, threaten the U.S. if you dare.
I think we'll see a lot of chippiness in this game. I think we will see, a lot of the extracurriculars, like the shoving, little elbows here or there. We know in soccer, like, the line is very thin, right? You kick a guy wrong and you're getting suspended for crying out loud. But I do think we'll see Balogun get, quote unquote, roughed up tonight. I think we'll see someone commit a yellow card on him. Like, that would be a great bet to make. Someone commits a yellow card foul on Balogun.
Listen, soccer is not it is a physical game, but it's not like a bully game, right? Like, my point is if you're trying hard to rough him up, he's a goal scorer, right? You make a mistake trying to rough him up, and then he goes behind you and scores a goal. Like, that's almost what you want. If you're a striker, right, is that the other team's being overly aggressive with you, because it's all backdoor cuts and runs into the box. So, like, be my guest if you want to try to make it into a goon game, but I think you should focus on playing football the right way.
I think the penalty kicks would do wonders for Balogun if he can get just one tonight. And I do think he maybe pursues those backdoor cuts and maybe he does score a goal. I think a goal would be excellent because I think he did like the celebration they called like the silencer, like LeBron celebration. He might do another one of those and put the finger to the mouth and just hush Belgium fans here in attendance. But he'll have the home crowd on his side. This is a game in the States, correct?
It is. It's in Seattle, which is known as
man.
It's 12 man for the Seahawks, and it's known as the best home field advantage in all of soccer in the United States. So it's a good place to be playing tonight.
I know with soccer, you said something there as a physical game. I would say soccer is not even a physical game. I don't think it's a contact sport. I think there's certain tweaks I would make to soccer, and I know soccer purists, football purists are going to be mad. I think it was like the England-Mexico game where the ball's in the air and it's coming down. It's maybe about like chest height or so, and two players, one from each team, both go to kick the ball, right? Their feet both go in the air. They're both kicking high. And one of them, instead of kicking the ball, just kicks the other guy in the calf, right? And I understand if you want to say you want to stop play, label it as like a I don't even know what the term is, like, because foul like requires a card, but
no, foul doesn't require a card.
Okay,
right?
Just a typical regular foul, no card.
Foul, right? Yeah, it's just a free kick.
But like for one guy to get kicked in the leg and then a second later realize, I got to flop over and roll over a few times, and then a whole card comes out because of it. Like, to me, the whole incidental contact needs to come into play, because we see it come into play and guys don't flop over and they just play on.
Yeah, so I would say it is a contact sport, right? It's not the way I had it described to me when I was a youth playing American football is like basketball is a contact sport, soccer is a contact sport. There's a lot of contact sports. Football, gridiron football is a collision sport. So like nothing compares to like rugby or American football in terms of contact, right? But those are collision sports. It's a contact sport, right? There's challenges for the ball. They run into each other and stuff, but it's a contact sport that's heavily officiated, and like they don't want very much contact. I will agree with you on that point.
In basketball, we see in the playoffs, these guys bang down low on the post, elbows hitting the chest. I mean, you might accidentally trip over a guy, but there's this sort of everyone just has the unwritten rule of we play on, right? It's not hey, I go out of my way to act. And I think it's because there's so many players on the field that one guy can go down and you can't really even take advantage of it until 15, 20 seconds later. By that time, he's up off the field. Yeah. He's ready to go. He's back in the picture. In basketball, you just don't see that flopping to that extra degree. I mean, I think you see it sometimes with the offense trying to get a call. Like the defense in soccer, we see that a lot as well. So it's a slight tweak to make, and we'll see what happens.
I'll say this
tonight.
To your point about Balogun and potential cards against him and all that kind of stuff. I do think it's going to be a pretty chippy game tonight. It's going to be pretty intense, right? Belgium's pissed, and the USA is going to have to match that intensity, and I think the USA is going to have a chip too, because they know the fans in that stadium are going to be for the USA, but fans around the world are going to be rooting hard for Belgium tonight. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Right. I think there is a collective feeling that FIFA already picks favorites in certain areas. And then let's just face it, like the optics of the United States worldwide aren't great for other reasons. This just kind of tacks onto it.
Yeah, listen, FIFA, they're known for being a little corrupt, but like typically it hasn't been anything that favors the United States. Like FIFA doesn't want the U.S. to be good at soccer, so I think people are grasping a little bit.
From the FIFA's standpoint, like the business aspect, I mean, you have the opportunity to catch a nation with a lot of media power that's maybe finally coming around to your sport. Yeah. They want you to win.
Call the Press Box now on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines at 522-1410.
The Press Box on KGSO.
This is The Herd.
You got to be consistent.
With Colin Cowherd.
Mic check.
All right, this is interesting. Draymond Green of the Warriors has declined his roughly $28 million option to become a free agent. Again, doesn't mean he's leaving. What he is doing is signaling to you and I, LeBron and AD may be Warriors. I like this move.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays at 11 a.m. right here on KGSO and on the SC Wichita app.
Come check out the defending champion Aftershocks at Charles Koch Arena starting July 20th in the new look TBT. The Wichita State alums will be hosting the New Mexico alumni team as part of a best of 3 series on the road to TBT's now $2 million prize. Dexter Dennis joins this year's roster of Shocker legends playing July 20th and 23rd. For tickets, go to tbthoops.com, the Wichita State box office, or listen for giveaways here on this station. And stay tuned for the radio call The Aftershocks here on KGSO. Fire sale at the Black Friday Deals and Discount Store on 47th and Broadway. Truckloads of brand new items from Amazon, Walmart, and Target. But for just $10, nearly everything in the store is on sale for just $10 Friday and $7 on Saturday. Electronics like controllers, laptops, headphones, just $10. Name brand clothing and shoes, Stanley Cups, accessories, all kinds of household items, just $10. Come check out the brand new Ashley furniture for discount price. 120 days, same as cash, $5 down. So don't break your budget and shop today at the Black Friday Deals and Discount Store.
Looking for a new-to-you ride? For over 70 years, customers have trusted Rusty Egg Ford with quality vehicles and exceptional service. We have 500 used cars available with 150 Ford Blue Advantage certified. From fuel-efficient cars to tough trucks and versatile SUVs, you'll find quality, value, and selection all in one place. That's peace of mind with every mile. Buy with confidence at Rusty Egg Ford. Visit rustyeggford.com. Family owned and simply the best place to buy. See dealer for details.
Professional excavators and homeowners, safety always comes first, and safe digging is no accident. So before you begin your next digging project, remember to call Kansas 811 to have your underground utility lines marked for free. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. So play it safe. Put down the shovel, pick up the phone, and call 811 first. This message is brought to you by Kansas 811, reminding you that no matter if your digging project is big or small, don't make a judgment call. Always call 811 before you dig.
Play games, win prizes, set reminders, and listen to your favorite KGSO shows by downloading our app today.
When you think this show is terrible, something wonderful happens.
What?
It ends.
You know, maybe the wonderful thing that happens is we tell you about.
Taco Tico, it's all about the taste.
Yes, guys, the special at Taco Tico still going strong. Check it out, the 10-pack sale of tacos at Taco Tico for $10.99. That's like $1.10 per taco. That's an insane deal. Pretty good as well. We're 3 for $4.99 of the limited time wonton tacos. 13th and Tyler, 35th and Rock Road, Arc City, Newton, El Dorado, Derby, Augusta, where it's all about the what?
It's all about the taste.
Oh, all about it. And
heck yes.
I'm kind of all about telling you guys about the TBT here, Wichita. You ready for the TBT? I'm ready for the TBT. July 20th, 23rd, and beyond. Let's pack the Roundhouse as your favorite former Shockers are back with the Aftershocks. Dexter Dennis joins this year's squad. The grand prize has been doubled to $2 million. TBTHoops.com. And stay tuned for ticket giveaways here on KGSO. You never know when they're going to be. So you got to have your station, your car really glued to this station, guys. And, well, we gave away a couple pairs a few days ago. Stay tuned. We'll probably give away some more this week. We are just 2 weeks away. That's a massive deal.
Jacob, I have a question for you.
What's up?
When you hear Belgium, what do you think of first?
Well, you told me waffles the other day, and that's stuck.
Waffles, exactly. They
Nothing else
basically
with Belgium.
invented waffles, right? You got the Belgium waffle. Despite that fact, the USA has over 2,000 Waffle Houses, and Belgium has 0. That's how much better we are than them.
Well, you know what happens to Waffle Houses past midnight? Just ask the city of New York, man.
I'm just saying they basically invented waffles, and they don't even have one. They can't even build one Waffle House. What are we even doing here?
This is the kind of smack talk we got to be given in the parking lot for the game tonight. I mean, someone needs to see a group of Belgian fans, have a stack of pancakes, waffles here in this case. I'm a pancake guy. And then just throw them on the ground or the concrete right at their feet and see the reaction. See if they're going to try to scoop it up and eat it.
I bet they won't. They're too busy in Seattle eating the fish from the fresh fish market.
It is funny seeing them go to Major League Baseball games, and you're like, wait a minute, fans could do this at games. Fans could be actually involved and invested and chant.
Nobody from these countries has ever seen a baseball game in their life either. Maybe the ones from the Central American countries have probably seen baseball games, but these European fans that are going to Major League Baseball games, they don't know what they're getting into. They've never seen a baseball game in their life. And so that's kind of fun.
Most of them probably think it's boring. But then you'd say, hey, man, at least our games won't end 0-0.
They may have seen a cricket game, but they had to clear out 2 days on their calendar for the 48-hour game. So baseball at least moves a little faster than that.
Cricket games are really going that long?
Cricket games can go like a week, from what I understand. Yeah.
Do the players take a snooze break?
I don't know how it works. I've just heard that. It's big in India and Australia.
You've been out here for 18 hours. We're going to send you into the dugout. We got a couple torn up mattresses there in the back you can sleep on, and
I can't wait until the World Cup of cricket so we can become experts on that. We're going all in.
Make people never listen to us again.
I'll say this right now. If the USA ever hosts the World Cup of cricket, we will talk about it on the press box. It's the most soccer's the most popular sport. Those are the two most popular sports in the world. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
You know, if we start talking cricket here on the show, all that we're going to get from our audience is
exactly.
Just that.
Test matches up to 5 days. All right. A cricket match can last up to 5 days. 2 teams play over consecutive days, featuring about 6 hours of play per day, divided into morning, afternoon, and evening sessions.
We're not doing this talk. All right.
Yeah. Let's do something else. We got 5 minutes.
Relevancy? Look, this kind of fits the mold of last second segments here in the press box compared to recent weeks. Marcellus Wiley. He was charged. Maybe not even charged yet. Yes, charged with domestic battery over the weekend. He was arrested on 4th of July. Guys, look, domestic battery is never a good headline. Apparently, there was threats to remove his spouse from the world along those lines. And look, Wiley was one of those names that I watched for a while, right? You guys kind of watched him as a pro football player. I was watching this guy on Sports Nation and speak for yourself every once in a while. He's 51 years old. He's had a really good football legacy and up to this point, a pretty good on-air legacy.
Yeah, man, he might go the way of Mark Sanchez after this one, but hopefully he rebounds.
Never good to see. All right, we ask and we shall receive. Here on the Maximum Outdoor Equipment phone lines, you're inside the press box. How are you?
What's going on?
Do we have you?
Breaker 19,
there we
have
go.
your ears on.
Breaker 19, we got you. 10-4.
The ears are a little fuzzy now.
Do you read me?
We read you. Do you read us?
It's not fair to talk about offensive impact with the Kansas City Royals coming off their biggest explosion of runs for the season. But with Vinny Pasquantino going into a rehab assignment with Omaha tomorrow, how do you think him coming back plays a role in the offense? And I'll listen off air.
Thanks for the call.
For sure.
It's a good question, right? Gets us back into the real world of American sports.
Does it change anything? Does a Pasquantino recovery from this hand injury, broken bone in the hand, here he's going to go to Arizona? To rehab?
Listen,
doesn't change anything.
He's got to play a lot better if it's going to change anything, right? He was batting .224 with a .660 OPS and a barely over 300 on base percentage, .350 slugging percentage. He was bad so far this year. I know he's shown better in the past, so you can hope for more, but he wasn't doing a whole lot for them while he was in there. He's one of the reasons they're 17 games under 500.
And I think with Caglione and the first base spot, I think Pasquantino is best served on another team. For him individually and the Royals' future.
I would trade him for Pete. And maybe you can convince somebody that he's going to return to form and get some prospects for him, but I agree. I think Caglione's a first baseman, and as long as Pasquantino's there, Caglione can't play first base.
And even Vinny's season last year, I mean, a lot of his numbers came in a tight stretch. And the majority of the season, it was kind of looking a lot like how he's played, but he would just really catch fire for a whole week every so often throughout the season. So he wasn't even consistent last season, the Pasquatch, but he's got a cool nickname. I know fans love this guy in Kansas City. It's a real tough string of injuries the Royals have had. Probably the one that's more relevant, I mentioned it in my sports report. I'm surprised the caller didn't mention this. Cole Reagan's, the UCL.
Little Tommy John action.
Yeah. 10 to 12 months. He's out.
That's rough. That mean he probably won't pitch until 2028 at this point, which sounds like a long ways away, but it's closer than you think. But yeah, I mean, he'll miss the rest of this year, and then by the time 12 months elapses, they'll be halfway through next year. I doubt he's going to get ramped up to pitch in the big leagues next year, unless they're like in playoff contention and they want to like get him some starts late in the year to see if he can go in the bullpen in the playoffs. But probably won't see him again until 2028. It's sad.
Tomorrow, I think we should talk about this a little bit. Maybe tune in, and we're gonna listen to the Roundhouse podcast that Paul Solentrop did back from July 2nd, as he had a sit-down conversation with Jordan Friesen. They also talked with Jones and Malanga, the incoming transfer players for Shocker men's basketball. I think a lot of that going to be listening to the comments there of Jordan Friesen. I wonder how much he's able to speak about the team, how much of a feel he has yet for the city of Wichita, and what his role is going to be like on this team. I think Friesen, he carries an immense weight for how the Shocker basketball season goes. So I'm curious to hear what his voice sounds like and see his optimism for the season.
Roundhouse pod. Look at that. Repurposing some audio, and Friesen, I'm excited about him as well. And all the newcomers, just to see how they fit into this year's squad.
Maybe you got leftovers from the weekend. You're ready to get home and eat.
Sounds good.
Keep the SC Wichita app going. Listen to The Odd Couple with Fox Sports. Have a great night, guys. Been the Press Box. Signing off.
This is Stu Gatz and Company live.
The audience wants this.
You're listening to Stu Gatz and Company live.
Taylor has advice for England if they want any chance to win in Mexico. What's your advice for them? Because Mexico has this home field advantage that I'm not all too comfortable with. I have to be honest. Go ahead.